Welcome to Entry Point Faith, where every week we discover fresh meaning in the world so you can find faith your way. This week's message is titled, Working for a Living.
Always the first Sunday in September. Labor Day was the idea of Peter J. McGuire, a labor union leader who in 1882 proposed a celebration honoring the American worker. Now, recent research has shown that it might have actually been his brother Matthew who really invented the idea. But at any rate, since 1894, Labor Day has been a federal holiday. All government offices, organizations, and many businesses, including schools, are closed. The date chosen was simply convenient, according to McGuire, because it was midway between the 4th of July and Thanksgiving. Although the day's focus on organized labor has diminished over the years, the holiday has become a way to mark the end of the summer season, and in some areas of the United States, the start of the school year. Traditionally, Labor Day consists of barbecues and time together with family. It's also viewed as a day of rest or the last chance for many people to travel before the official end of the summer. Steve Jobs said these words about work. Your work is going to fill a large part of your life, and the only way to be truly satisfied is to do what you believe is great work. And the only way to do great work is to love what you do. If you haven't found it yet, keep looking. Don't settle. As with all matters of the heart, you'll know when you find it. Do you love your job? Did you love your job? If you are like many people in our country, you may or may not have loved your job, but you did love the stability that you were able to have while you worked. And of course, many of us have had multiple jobs or even multiple careers. Gone are the days when people worked for one company all of their lives. Gone is that level of factory loyalty, mostly because many of the factories don't last all of our working life. My favorite proverb is, in the beginning, everything is beautiful. I love that saying because it's so true. Everything is beautiful in the beginning. The new car, the puppy, the relationship, the house, the boat, the vacation, the job. And then as time passes, all of those things can begin to go south. The car needs work. The puppy grows up and becomes a destructive dog. The house and the boat cost money to upkeep. And the vacation ends and the job, well, the job gets old too. Remember how excited you were to get your first job? Somebody was actually going to pay you to do something. They picked you. They trusted you. And then that nice boss who was brilliant enough to hire you turned into someone unrecognizable, and the hours never ended. The glitter was gone, and the paycheck was too small. So you got a different job, and in the beginning, everything was beautiful, all over again, until it wasn't. We all know by now that a job is a job. We have to work to make a living unless we are independently wealthy. We know that sometimes the paycheck is the only reward that comes with the job. Many times we feel defeated and depleted at the end of the day because we weren't sure we made any difference in the world, and we weren't sure we even cared that much about it. The workday was boring, it was mundane, and it was repetitive, it was lonely, it was tedious, it was uninspiring. Job satisfaction has been dwindling for years, and since the onset of the pandemic, people seem to care even less about their jobs or about working altogether, and completely forget about customer service. That went out the window when the words supply chain delays started trending. How can we feel better about work, about our jobs? How can we rekindle the excitement that we once had, the motivation we once felt? What does work actually mean to us? Now, it's no surprise that many of us draw our identity from the work we do. We introduce ourselves often to other people with our job title. We tell people what we do. People always want to know where we work or what we do for a living. We align our value and our significance in the world with the job that we perform. When it comes to passion or loving our jobs, I suspect that many people in the workforce don't feel very much passion about their jobs. They're punching in or logging in, passing the required amount of time, clocking or logging out, and then going to their real life, their home life, their family life, the life that they wait for, the life that they love. And there's nothing wrong with that. What happens to us when we retire? Do we feel lost? Do we feel lost because we don't have a title or a label or a place to go? Or is this the chance to finally have the life we've always wanted to have? We all have the chance to spend our time how we wish, whether we are part of a workforce or not. We all have the opportunity to volunteer our time and our skills to make someone or something better, to serve someone, to help people. Our faith community is filled with active volunteers who are now retired. Among us are people who tutor students, read to adults and children, serve on nonprofit boards, and quietly work behind the scenes to assist other people. Even if we don't have a title anymore, we have work to do. We have things to do that fill our day and keep us busy. It's certainly a lot better if we can spend our time with a task or a hobby or an activity that we love. Directing a play is a volunteer activity for me. I don't get paid a penny, and it doesn't matter because it's something I love and I find valuable. I believe that the world is a much better place with good theater in it. So I want to do my part to keep that happening. So for me, theater is work that I love to do. It's important work. I think that's the way we should all think and feel about our work, despite the pay or lack of pay. If our time spent on a project has value and we feel passionate about it, we will be much less likely to burn out or want to quit, whether the work is paid work or volunteer work. Ecclesiastes 3:22 reads, I see there is nothing better than that we enjoy our work, for this is our destiny. There was once a businessman who was sitting by the beach in a small village. As he sat, he saw a fisherman rowing a small boat toward the shore, having caught quite a few big fish. So the businessman was impressed, and he asked the fisherman, how long does it take you to catch so many fish? Fisherman replied, oh, just a short while. Well, then why don't you stay longer at sea and catch even more? This is enough to feed my whole family. The fisherman then asked, well, what do you do the rest of your day? The fisherman replied, I wake up kind of early in the morning. I go out to sea and I catch a few fish, and then I go back and I play with my kids. In the afternoon, I take a nap with my wife, and when evening comes, I join my buddies in the village for a drink. And sometimes we play guitar, sing, and dance throughout the night. The businessman offered a suggestion to the fisherman. I have a PhD in business management. I could help you to become a much more successful person. From now on, you should spend much more time at sea and try to catch as many fish as possible. When you have saved enough money, you could buy a bigger boat and catch even more fish, and soon you will be able to afford more boats. And you can set up your own company and your own production plant for canned foods and distribution networks. And by then, you will have moved out of this little village into a bigger city where you can set up a headquarters and manage all of your branches. The fisherman said, and after that? Oh, the businessman laughed heartily. After that, you can live like a king in your own house, and when the time is right, you can go public and you can float your shares in the stock exchange, and you will be rich. The fisherman said, after that? Well, after that, you can finally retire. You can move to a house by the fishing village. You can wake up early in the morning, catch a few fish, return home and play with your kids and have a nice afternoon nap with your wife. And then in the evening, you can join your buddies for a drink and play the guitar and sing and dance throughout the night. The fisherman started laughing. Isn't that what I'm doing now? Charles Schwab told a Forbes magazine interviewer, "Why do I work? I work for just the pleasure I find in work, the satisfaction there is in developing things, in creating. The person who does not work for the love of work, but only for money, is not likely to make money nor to find much fun in life." Once upon a time, the typical American found a job, made a living. That was success. Today, the typical American might change jobs 6 times or more and wants a life, not just a living, and is looking for satisfaction. A recent Newsweek article reported half of all Americans would choose a different line of work if they had it to do all over again. They're exiting the rat marathon to do something more constructive. People want meaning. I think the satisfaction and meaning that we seek today is that we want to make a difference. We want a job that has meaning, that allows us to be creative. At the end of the day, when we put our head down at night on our pillow, we want to know that because we went to that place and did that thing, people's lives are better. We want a job that we can be passionate about. We want a job that allows us to be proud of our work. Amen.
Please join us next week when our message will be titled, Welcome Home. Thanks for joining us for Entry Point Faith's online virtual service. If you'd like to join us, we meet every week at Conner Prairie in Fishers, Indiana.